on an all-new Dr. Phil.
Once my mom starts drinking, she cannot stop.
Drink, 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 drink. It's till she passes out.
She's been in the hospital with a blood alcohol content of 0.47. 0.47 is lethal.
Legally dead.
You all need to prepare that you may end her life. How sick are you?
I have cirrhosis of the liver.
If you don't change, they are going to be standing next to you in a coffin. Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
Today's going to be a changing day in your life.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. In 2018, doctors gave my guest Janie a life expectancy of 5 years if she stopped drinking immediately. But Janie's daughter Michaela says that didn't stop her mother. Michaela claims her mom is a former party mom who just never grew up. She and her Uncle CJ want to make things clear. It's her mom's last call, or they're going to walk away for good.
My mom is a party mom who's never really grown up.
My sister Janie has been spiraling out of control. Her drinking has really taken over her life.
Growing up, I never had a parental structure. My mom was just partying.
I'd go over and hang out with them. The beer would come out at 5 o'clock, you know. It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
I pretty much was on my own. I made my own choices. I drank a lot. I did a lot of drugs. I didn't make it past my sophomore year of high school.
Michaela's life started to spiral out of control as well. She ended up in jail. The police knew her by her first and last name.
When I was 15 years old, I was partying with my mom. When I turned 18, I turned my life around completely. I started my own company. The problem is my mom has never grown up. Once my mom starts drinking, she cannot stop.
Just drink, 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 drink. It's till she passes out.
My mom's drinking is so bad that she has been in the emergency room over 40 times in the last several years.
Last week, she was in the hospital for coughing up blood.
The doctors told me she had 5 years to live and she needed a liver transplant, but she needed to be sober for 1 year before doing that, and she has not done that. My mom has a really hard time holding down a job. My mom's most recent job, she was a driving instructor, and she recently got a DUI and lost that job. She's living in a hotel until she runs out of money.
I feel helpless with my sister.
My mom needs to hit her rock bottom, but I'm afraid of what that rock bottom is gonna be.
Well, Michaela, CJ, I'm glad both of you guys are here because you think she's on a road to an early death.
Definitely.
Yes.
And the doctors made it clear that she's not just they're not just saying you can generally drink yourself to death. They're saying she's in end-stage liver failure.
Yes.
It's very serious, and it is a miracle my mom is still alive right now, and I don't think she's going to make it through this year.
And when she drinks, she doesn't just party drink. She drinks to the point of becoming seriously ill while she's drinking, right?
Yes. It builds onto that. Maybe the first day or something like that might just be 1 or 2 glasses of wine, and then it turns into 1 or 2 boxes, then it turns into full-out binge drinking.
Do you think she's still deluding herself into thinking she can socially drink? Is she telling herself that?
Absolutely.
Is that her narrative?
I definitely believe that.
She's going to come out here and she's going to deny a lot of stuff that happened.
She will.
She's going to deny a lot of stuff that happened in my life growing up, and she's going to deny the fact that she has a problem. Like, she thinks everything's fine right now. She's going to come out here and just think like, "Oh, I'm totally fine. I don't have a problem."
I've dealt with her denying this for years and years and years.
Okay, she's been in the hospital with a blood alcohol content of 0.47.
Mm-hmm.
0.47.
Yeah.
They don't know how she's breathing.
0.08 is legally drunk. 0.47 is lethal.
Yeah. It's legally dead.
You say that you're now raising your 17-year-old sister because your mom just couldn't.
Yes, I've had her for 2 years now.
Now, your mother was drinking with you when you were 15?
Yes. So I started partying when I was 14 years old. I did a lot of drugs, alcohol, and she used to party with us. She actually was kind of like the party mom, like more of, a friend than an actual mom. I don't remember her actually being my parent. It was more of a friend. And she used to get invited by my other friends to parties. I mean, up until this day, actually.
So like from 14 to 17, she was just right in there with you, drinking, drugging,
Yes.
whatever. Did you know at the time that was strange?
I mean, she just seemed like my friend, so it kind of seemed normal. I guess I've never had that experience. I mean, everything after I was 4 years old was a total disaster.
At 18, you said, enough's enough, too much is too much. I can't go on living this way.
Mm-hmm.
Where did you find the strength and the direction to do that?
So I actually was in juvenile hall. I was arrested, and I was arrested multiple times, but this was kind of my final, I guess, my rock bottom I hit.
It was during Christmas too.
It was during the holiday season. I was arrested. It kind of cleared my head a little bit, and I prayed a lot. I'm very religious, so or I wasn't at the time, but now when I got out of there, I really think God saved me because I don't see why I would be here. And then I turned my life around and I actually moved. I got away from all of my friends, all of my party friends. I went somewhere I knew nobody. I went down there by myself and just started over.
Because you certainly didn't have the role model that you needed.
No.
And you didn't have the protector that you needed because one of her loser boyfriends had violated you along the way. Did she protect you then?
No, she didn't believe me. Her boyfriend, sexually abused me when I was 14 years old. She said, "Oh, he's this good Christian guy. He would never do that." She didn't believe me. And it wasn't until the school got involved and had to do a pretext phone call to actually get him to admit the situation.
But yet you're still fighting for her.
And I'm here today fighting for her.
One of the reasons that I agreed to do this story is that you all need to prepare for the eventuality that she may end her life.
Dr. Phil, this is our last opportunity for my mom.
It really is.
There is no other, if she cannot get the help here today, she is going to die. I don't think I'm going to see her next year. I don't even know if she's going to make it to Christmas.
And you've created this opportunity, so you know you've done the last thing you knew you could do.
This is the last thing I'm
You're not
going
going
to
to bury her and say, "I wish I'd have called Dr. Phil."
This is the last thing I'm going to do. And for a while, for the last year, I haven't helped her. I haven't talked to her. My siblings don't talk to her. They don't like talking to her. So this was the last thing that I wanted to do. It's either this or nothing.
Dr. Phil, we have done what we feel is almost everything other than jailing her in a rehab, which is just not really possible. We can't do that. And
everybody's a star in rehab when they get out.
Right. We've had interventions. I think the most she's ever really made it was 3 months, 3 or 4 months, and it's always a relapse.
Well, me and my team have done our homework here, and we're ready to talk to her and deal with it.
Okay.
Now, Janie says she hasn't had any alcohol since getting a DUI last month, but her family doesn't know if she's being truthful. Well, I got a breathalyzer here, and we're going to find out if Janie has alcohol in her system. And, she could not be drinking and have some alcohol in her system because her liver's certainly not metabolizing things right, but we're going to find out exactly where she is, blood-wise, brain-wise. We're going to meet her next.
For the past 10 years, my drinking's gotten a little out of hand. Last week, I started coughing up blood. The doctors told me if I wouldn't have gone to the ER, I would have died. I haven't had alcohol in 30 days, but my family doesn't believe me.
I've never had a real mother-daughter relationship. It's always been a friend. I do not respect my mom whatsoever. I used to have a lot of anger towards my mom, but now at this point in my life, I've just given up on her, and I've had to accept the fact that she's gonna die.
This is our last chance. I really hope Dr. Phil is able to help.
If my mom does not take Dr. Phil's advice, I am not gonna be speaking with her anymore, and I am done.
Well, we're back with Michaela and her uncle CJ. Now, Michaela says her mother and CJ's sister, Janie, has lost almost everything due to her alcohol addiction, including her house and job. But if she doesn't stop drinking for good, she'll lose the only thing she has left, them and her life.
For the past 10 years, my drinking's gotten a little out of hand. Alcohol does make me feel relaxed. I drink because I've been depressed, bored. My daughter, Michaela, and I have kind of a special relationship. I was 20 when I had Michaela. Since I had kids at a really young age, I never really had that college party time. When my daughter was about 16, her friends would come over and I would end up just letting them drink at the house. I would drink, but I would be usually downstairs. I've been to the hospital about 5 times for drinking. Last week, I started coughing up blood. The doctors told me that if I wouldn't have gone to the ER, I would have died. I know it's hurting my health, but sometimes I felt like I was invincible. Last year, I went to a 30-day rehab facility. It felt like jail. The food was very salty. It was horrible, so I left. Last January, I moved into my dad's house, ended up getting a job as a driving instructor. My dad said I couldn't drink in the house, but I was sneaking alcohol into my room. I'd have like 1 or 2 glasses of wine a night. Recently, I was pulled over for speeding. I passed the breathalyzer test, but apparently I didn't touch my nose correctly. I had gone out and partied on New Year's Eve, and because my liver doesn't process it fast enough, it just stays in my system. I was arrested, lost my job as a driving instructor, and then my dad kicked me out. I haven't had alcohol in 30 days, but my family doesn't believe me. I want my family to know I really just want to get better and I want to gain their trust again.
Well, Janie, it's good to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
So you were a driving instructor
I was.
and got a DUI.
Yes.
That's kind of ironic, right?
Yes.
But you hadn't been drinking that day. This was holdover from before.
Yes.
Because your liver doesn't clean things out
Right.
very
My
well.
liver doesn't filter things out as it should.
How sick are you?
I have cirrhosis of the liver. It's pretty bad. I started, really scared me as I started throwing up blood about a week ago.
You see this differently than your family. They think that you don't get it. Is that true?
I didn't get it. That is true.
Well, in talking to us, you told us one story and they told us a different one. And so I'm trying to figure out how much denial you're in or how much hysteria they're in.
I think I felt just more invincible. Like, no, it's not going to happen to me. One glass of wine's not going to hurt.
Janie, it has happened to you. That's what I'm saying.
know.
You used to drink vodka and now you think wine is better for some reason. Also, you said in the video that you passed the breathalyzer when you refused the breathalyzer and that's why they took you to jail.
I didn't refuse the breathalyzer. I blew into it.
It said
Will
that
you
it
do a
didn't have a
breathalyzer
reading.
now so they can see? This may not be zero because your liver may not be able to clean all the alcohol out of your system at
Yeah,
this
it's
point.
been
So
about
just, if you
3
will,
weeks.
when it beeps, blow until it beeps twice. Just blow, 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 blow. Okay, thank you. You're 0.0 now, so it's been long enough that your liver, even with its less than efficient work, has cleaned out
Yeah.
your blood. So your blood, not your brain, but your blood is alcohol free at this point. So that means she's at least not intoxicated while we're talking now.
Probably the last couple days.
Here are the discrepancies because according to the family, they say that you were told that you had 5 years to live. But according to you, there was no certain amount of time. They say you've been on life support 10 times. You say you've almost died twice.
Life support. I've never been on life support.
ICU.
Oh, ICU. Yeah.
Okay. Hospitalized 40 times.
No.
You say 5 times.
5. I was never in the hospital 40 times.
Janie, you were hospitalized 5 times in
pulled
the
your
past
medical
like
records.
year and a half.
We pulled your medical records.
I've never been in there 40 times at separate occasions.
We thought it was a lot less, and when we pulled the medical records, we found out it was actually a lot more.
Okay, according to the family doesn't speak, and you say you have a good relationship with the family.
We do speak. What are you guys talking about?
I mean,
We
I
do
don't-
talk.
Janie, you and I personally haven't had a good relationship in years, and it's because I have been pulling myself away.
You say you had a family member move because of bullying, and they say that family member moved because of your drinking. They say you were evicted from an apartment. You say, well, the lease just ended.
The lease did end. I was never evicted. It ended, and they were going to raise my rent.
Growing up, we were evicted from every single place that we've ever lived in.
The reason that you guys have never had a stable home is because you haven't ever had a stable job, and it's because you haven't been able to keep one because of your alcohol dependency.
My first criminal charge, was breaking an entry when I was 13 years old to my own house that we got evicted from. That was my first charge.
We were evicted from that one.
And I was going in to get my stuff because
That's
our
what-
stuff wasn't locked in the house.
You say you allowed drinking by Michaela. She says you partied with her.
I was downstairs, and I let you and your friends come over, and I would not let you leave. I would let you drink there because I didn't want you going out and doing drugs.
You're not talking to a probation officer here.
I
You're
know.
talking to Dr. Phil.
I know.
You're talking about this like it's normal. Like
I mean,
I was
there's this,
downstairs while they were drinking upstairs.
I was 16 in
do
that
you
picture.
do you get that allowing your daughter
house.
to drink
I was 16 in that picture.
is not okay? I mean, I'm looking at this picture here.
Yeah.
That's you, right?
Yeah, that's me with the beer, and she was there.
Did you drink and do drugs with your daughter?
I didn't drink with her, and I did not do drugs with her.
She never did drugs with me, but she definitely, we partied and drank.
When you have all those kids at your house and they're under the age of 18,
Yeah.
you just don't drink, right?
Right.
So that's kind of the point we're trying to make here.
I regret a lot of that. Believe me, I do.
What did Janie's dad, Greg, find inside Janie's hotel room last week? We'll ask him after the break.
My daughter has almost died on numerous occasions. One time, they found her blood alcohol level to be higher than 0.4%. 0.4% could cause death. It just really put the fear in me.
My mom continues to drink and has not hit her rock bottom is because of my grandfather's enabling behavior.
My dad very much enabled Janie. We call him Superman because he's always been there for Janie and all of us kids.
He's my Superman, and I love him very much.
Over the years, in rent, in groceries, in help for her family, I believe my father spent over $1 million for her.
There's always been somebody to bail her out. If she has ever gotten close to hitting her rock bottom, my grandfather has been the biggest enabler for my mother.
Are you a chronic alcoholic?
Yes.
You were told in 2018 that you were end-stage liver failure and had 5 years to live, a limited time to live. You continued drinking after that.
Yeah, I quit for about 1.5 years after that.
No, you didn't.
Done.
You've only been sober for like 3 months at a time.
No,
Maybe
no,
6
that's
if
not
I'm giving
true.
you some
But
sort
you
of credit.
continued to drink after that.
Yes.
So since that time, you have continued to drink yourself into oblivion. Since that time. They told you, if you drink, it'll kill you. You continued to drink.
Yes. I did quit for a
No,
really
I
long
can tell.
time.
I can tell when you're
with-
actually sober. I could tell
when
those
I
times when
was-
you're actually sober, and then I can tell when you're foggy headed and you're
You know,
not
the
thinking
active
clear.
point to me is that when somebody tells you that this contains toxic poison for you, and after knowing that, you actively imbibe in this, fill it up, drink it again, fill it up, drink it again, fill it up, drink it again, not just on a bad night, but across a 3-year period. That's the clinically significant point to me. Why?
I don't know. And that's why I'm here.
You know, old Janie's dead. You're gone. And you're not the same person anymore.
I don't believe that. I believe that she can be back, but I think it's going to take some real work on her part and some real good advice.
Well, Janie's father, Greg, says he would do anything to help his daughter. Take a look.
My daughter Janie's been struggling with alcohol for quite some time now, and I know that if this continues, it's going to kill her. My daughter has almost died on numerous occasions. One time, I tried to reach her on the telephone. There was no response. I drove to her house, and the paramedics were called, and they did break down the door to get in. When I found Janie, she was unresponsive and passed out on the floor. I didn't know if she was dead or alive. They found her blood alcohol level to be higher than 0.4%. 0.4% could cause death. Janie called me at midnight a week ago, and she was coughing up blood. And so the paramedics came and took her into the ER. When I went to pick up her things, I found blood that was so plentiful, it scared me. It just really put the fear in me. The consumption level of the alcohol that she's been drinking has been enormous. We've tried numerous things to try to get Janie help, to no avail. I offered Janie to come live with us, but I made her promise that she would not drink anymore. My son CJ found evidence again that she had been abusing large quantities of alcohol.
When I would go into Janie's room, I would find assortment of everything. Wine boxes, little vodka bottles. I would say that there was a bottle or a box of wine for every day of the year.
When she broke that promise, I had to kick her out. And we're at the point where we don't believe her anymore. If Janie doesn't stop drinking, I don't know how we can have any kind of relationship whatsoever. And that breaks my heart.
They think you've been enabling her by making it possible for her to live a life of an alcoholic and therefore contributed to her drinking and her demise. Looking back on it, what do you think?
Looking back on it, Dr. Phil, I think that's correct. I've been told that repeatedly. But this is my daughter, my firstborn child, my only daughter. And I just, to put her out on the streets was just heartbreaking for me.
Do you believe that she now, her life is in danger?
Yes, very much so, and that's why we're here. The doctors have told her that if she continued to drink, that she would die.
And they told her that in 18, and
Yeah.
she has continued to drink since then. What did you find in her hotel room?
In her hotel room last week, I found blood in a trash can that was about half full. And then also the toilet was filled with blood. It shook me up. She was in the hospital at the time, and I went to retrieve a few of her possessions, and I found this blood in there.
So the trash can was half full of blood?
Yes,
That's a lot of blood.
that's a lot of blood.
Well, last year, Janie moved in with her dad under one condition, no drinking. Did she hold up her end of the deal? We'll find out when we come back. Closed caption. Last year, Janie moved into her dad Greg's house under one condition, no drinking. Her brother CJ says on several occasions, he found empty containers of boxed wine and small bottles of liquor hidden in Janie's room. But each time, Janie claimed, oh, these are just old. CJ says in total, he's thrown away 10 30-pound trash bags full of empty wine boxes and small liquor bottles from Janie's room. So my team's going to roll out the equivalent of what you say you found. 10 30-pound bags So this is what you found and thrown out.
Just about, yeah.
10, 30-pound bags.
Really?
There's 2 bags in there. I know.
No, there wasn't. We have a video. It shows it.
Janie, I've been up.
We've all seen it. Jane.
There's count like
After I moved out.
no. This is since March of last year.
He's talking about over the year.
Over the whole year. This is how much alcohol you had over the whole entire year.
Okay.
It is. And I know because I went upstairs and I threw every single one away.
He showed them to us, to me. I agree.
I mean,
Greg, is this a fair representation?
That is a fair representation.
CJ, is that a fair
Very much
representation?
so, yes.
Why do you argue it?
Because I didn't think it was that much.
If that's not real, tell your liver.
Yeah, I know.
like, do you even realize how serious of a problem you have?
I know. And I
you
thought,
really serious.
I know.
Like you sit here, you go, oh, I know, okay, it's fine. But like, do you really realize how serious of a problem it is? You are going to die. You were killing yourself. What about
I know.
your 12-year-old? What about what about my sister? She's 16 years old. I'm raising her. Why?
Your son can't come down and see you because half the time you're just too drunk or in the
I
hospital.
don't think you even realized how traumatic.
You've lost your relationship
I really don't
with
think
your children.
you do not realize how traumatic it's been to my brother, my little brother.
We have a statement from one of Janie's daughters. She says she has a good relationship, but here's what one of her daughters has to say to you. Quote, "You don't understand the pain that you feel when you see your own mom on the couch for days not having anything to eat or drink other than vodka. Or when you go to her apartment because your family member is visiting, but there is no food in the house and she's passed out on the bed. Not knowing why she fell off the bed and is stumbling over her words. I noticed recently I have no good memories with her. I can't recall one time with her where I genuinely felt loved and cared for. I just wish my mom would get some help so I could at least have one good memory."
You can tell we all love her dearly, and that's why we're here, Dr. Phil, to get your advice.
They say that the truth hurts, but in this case, it's denial that will kill you, and that's what I want to talk about when we come back. Last year, for Michaela's 25th birthday, she told us that you wrote her a letter from rehab. And you say in the note that she apologized for drinking and promised that she changed. And you say she only lasted 2 weeks in rehab until she was found passed out on the street. Well, I have that letter, and here are some excerpts from it that I want to remind her of. Can you read off the screen here what you said to Michaela in that letter?
I'm so sorry about messing up again. I know it's a long journey and it will be a lifetime process, but I am so committed to doing it not only for myself and my health, but most of all for you guys. Most people relapse about 4 times before completely quitting forever. This was my 4th time. I love you guys more than myself, even if I was such a screw up. I hope someday you will be able to trust me again and we can have a good relationship again.
In order to be trusted, you have to be trustworthy. And in order to be trustworthy, you have to tell yourself the truth. Do you think they're here because they've given up? Or do you think they're here because they get it and they want you to get it before it's too late.
Yeah, I know they do.
But your destiny, if you don't change, is a medical certainty. They are going to be standing next to you in a coffin. Now, I've been there. That's a reality. You need to see that. You need to see that in your mind. You need to see that. Everybody here needs to realize the reality we're dealing with. Because you will be dead and gone, but they will be standing there next to this coffin. And I want you to look at that right now. I want you to stop the fuzziness, and I want you to face the reality that we're talking about. This is exactly where you are headed. Is this the legacy you want to leave for your children? Stand up. Come down here with me. Stand over there. This is exactly where you are headed. This is exactly your life. Is this the legacy you want to leave for your children?
No.
You three come down here. Look at your mother across there. Look at your sister. This is the reality you're headed towards.
Imagine what you're doing to Papa. Like, you understand he has tons of health issues, and like he stays up at night and he can't sleep because he's worried about you. You're not just killing yourself, but you're also killing him.
I don't think I could ever forgive you if you put our parents through having to go to your funeral. Even though you're dead and gone, it sounds really bad to say, but I think it would make it easier for me because I'd be so angry at you. Because you have the chance right now to stop.
I don't want to be basically a slave to this anymore.
Well, when Michaela asked one of her sisters whether or not she wanted to fix her relationship with their mom, Michaela says her sister replied, "What is the point? She's going to die anyway." So I guess this is how Janie's tombstone could read. Janie, 1975 to 2021. What's the point? Dying anyways.
Janie passed out in the dining room at a birthday celebration some time ago, and her kids ran into the corner, huddled together, just in fear. They didn't run to their mom, they ran into the corner to hold each other up. And
They were crying.
and
Do
they
you remember that?
I do remember that. I wasn't drinking that day, though. It wasn't that day.
But do you understand?
But yes, I
I understand
remember.
that you may or may not have been
Yeah.
drinking that day, but do you understand that
Yes.
it was the saddest thing that I've
I
ever
remember.
seen. They ran into a corner, huddled together, crying and screaming because they thought you were dead.
Is there anything left to change destiny? Is there anything left to change the course of events? Can that tombstone change? Can this coffin stay above ground? We're going to talk about that when we come back. You two, you've done what you can do. You've said what you can say. And at this point, it's up to her. If she dies tomorrow, you need to You will mourn her, you will grieve her, you will miss her, you will hurt, and you will cry, but you should not feel guilty. Greg, you're not responsible for her alcoholism. She is. You need to stop helping her. And you've done that. Now, I'll tell you what I'm willing to do to help you get jump-started. I think you need some help with overcoming what I think is a clinical depression. I can't diagnose you sitting here because I haven't done all the things I would need to do, but I think you're really down. And I think you need help with that. And I'm willing to arrange, I'll set up 10 sessions for you right away with a board certified and licensed doctoral level therapist on Doctor on Demand, which is a company that my son and I started years ago. It's teletherapy, so you can do it from the privacy of your own home. And research says that it's just as effective as being there. I will set that up for you immediately. I'm going to ask you to attend 90 meetings in 90 days.
Okay.
And you can do that on Zoom as well. And if you do that, if you complete those 10 sessions with that therapist, if you complete those 90 meetings in 90 days, then I will arrange for you to go into a dual diagnosis treatment program. And by that time, you'll feel like, I don't need to go. Yes, you do. And I will make that available to you. And then we will build on strength, and we will build on strength and turn this thing around. And it will involve you guys as well when that happens. So I'm giving you a formula for success.
Thank you.
Are you glad that you came?
Yes, very. Thank you.
Does this make sense to you?
Yeah.
Makes sense to you?
Thank you, Doctor.
I want to thank all of my guests today. If you at home want to have your own Doctor on Demand, just go to Google Play Store or the Apple App Store and download the Doctor on Demand app. Don't forget to follow and subscribe to my podcast, Fill in the Blanks. This week, I talk with children's health expert, Dr. Dimitri Christakis. He